write this down. See, you're so
No,
rich.
you write this down. 80 people a day die in America from gunshots.
And 75 of them to 78 of them, statistics by the Uniform Crime Report by the FBI and the UN study on violent crime, 78 of those 80 are let out of their cages by corrupt judges and prosecutors who know that recidivism is out of control, know that they'll commit the crimes again, and they let them walk through plea bargaining, early release, and programs.
They still can't. Yeah.
Where you have the most armed citizens in America,
yeah.
you have the lowest violent crime rate. Where you have the worst gun control, you have the highest crime rate. Pierce, choose one. Do you want a lot of crime? We have it. Gun-free zones. Do you want less crime? We have that. More people with concealed weapons permit. Why do you guys resist that statistic?
Well, don't say you guys.
It's you guys.
No.
Well, unless you're playing the devil's advocate.
I can play any advocate I like.
You're doing a fine job.
Right.
You're playing the idiot's advocate here.
That's not the idiot's
More
advocate.
guns equals less crime. Period.
If you can't pass an assault weapons ban, ban everything. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. Any channel, content, and what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything is appreciated. Once again, PSA for Connecticut residents, if you plan on getting your Connecticut pistol permit, please do it before July 2024, or at least complete the training before that time. The state has changed the requirements, making it longer, harder, and more expensive for no reason other than disincentivize the law-abiding citizens of Connecticut from going out and getting a permit in order to buy a firearm. So make sure you get that done before July 2024. Let's talk about this. Now, if you remember, it was 2 days ago, December 4th, I did a video on Chuck Schumer, who's trying to push for a unanimous vote to then vote on an assault weapons ban. Yesterday, that failed. So what happens after that? They come up with a bill to basically ban everything at the federal level. Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas up there in Massachusetts, along with a Democrat from Georgia, I should pull up his name, Hank Johnson of Georgia. People in that district, pay attention to what your elected officials are doing. Okay? The guy needs to go. But they've brought forward a bill that is insane, and it's called the Gun Violence Prevention and Community Safety Act, which in itself, and once you encompass all of it, is basically, we're going to ban this, and we're going to make it harder to do that, and we're going to sue the gun manufacturers out of existence. That's basically what the whole gist of it is, but we're going to break it down a little bit. Let me come into here, and here's a summary PDF of this entire thing. But here we go. Out the gate, establish a federal gun license system. So for the states, like we have a permit here in Connecticut, they want a permit on a federal level. That requires individuals to obtain a federal or qualifying state-issued license to purchase or own a firearm or ammunition. Violation of the Constitution. Maryland just overturned Maryland's licensing laws. Encourage states to create their own gun licensing system through a grant program that provides funding for training and implementation of state-based gun licensing systems. So they're going to bribe states to go along with that, because that's really what that is. We're going to give you money if you do our bidding. Require universal background checks by closing the gun show loophole, which doesn't exist, and expanding federal background checks to all gun sales, including sales at gun shows and by private sellers. Now, that's a fallacy. Because any gun show must adhere to state law. So whatever the laws are of the state, that gun show has to adhere to it. So this whole loophole is nonsense. It's nonsense. It's an absolute lie that they've pushed for a long time. Close the Charleston loophole by requiring a complete background check for all gun sales. Mandate reporting of background check denials by requiring federal authorities to alert state law enforcement agencies when an individual fails a background check. So we're going to have local law enforcement arresting people for failing a federal background check. That's interesting. It's almost like federalizing the entire police force in the country. I don't know, but Ban individuals who present safety threats from buying guns. Once again, how is that defined? What is the litmus test for someone who is a threat? Somebody who went to the Capitol on January 6th? Because you know it's only going to apply to people on the right. I mean, you can burn down an entire city in the name of social justice, and they'd slap you on the wrist and send you right back out there. But including individuals subject to restraining orders, convicted of misdemeanor stalking offenses, or with outstanding arrest warrants. Establish a federal extreme risk protection order system. This is basically red flag laws at a federal level that allows family members and law enforcement to request a court order to temporarily remove guns, violation of the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, from individuals at heightened risk of harming themselves or those around them, and creating a new grant to incentivize states to implement their own red flag systems. We're going to bribe states to do our bidding. Crack down on gun theft by creating a series of security infrastructure requirements for licensed gun dealers, including secure gun storage, security systems, and anti-theft alarms. You got to have that anyway. As an FFL operating, you got to do that because the insurance company is not going to insure your stuff. So I have not been to a gun store yet that didn't have a security system, cameras, alarms, and the whole shebang. That's dumb. And once again, it could be another way for them to set a standard that is so high that most gun stores won't be able to actually do it, and put them out of business. That's a possibility. Raise the minimum age for buying a firearm or ammunition from 18 to 21 in violation of the Constitution. Create a 7-day waiting period for all firearms sales. Ensure safe gun storage by requiring all firearms be sold with secure storage or locking device, and requiring gun owners to keep their guns securely stored or locked when not in use. Okay, well, this is like the Ethan's Law at a federal level. But keep guns out of schools by expanding the Gun-Free School Zones Act to ban guns on college and university campuses, and that Gun-Free School Zone Act has been an absolute failure. Gun-free zones have never prevented one shooting, ever. Ever. This is, if I'm not mistaken, Biden, actually when he was a senator, was the one who pushed this through. Name one gun-free zone that has prevented a shooting. Specifically because it's a gun-free zone. Zero. Here we go. Ban military-style assault weapons and other lethal accessories. I'm not sure what lethal accessory is. Including large-capacity ammunition feeding devices, bump stocks, and trigger cranks, and require owners of military-style assault weapons to register them under the National Firearms Act. We could talk about that one for days, but I don't want to make this too long. Create a voluntary federal buyback program for military-style assault weapons. Kiss my butt. Large-capacity ammunition feeding devices, firearm silencers, and firearm mufflers. Yeah, good luck with that. You're going to give me pennies on the dollar for something that I pretty much invested a whole lot of money into? No, not going to happen. Not a chance. Ban untraceable and undetectable firearms by requiring gun kit makers to follow the same rules as other gun manufacturers, because that's always prevented things from happening. Ban machines that were specifically designed to manufacture ghost guns at home, and the distribution of the instructions or codes for the 3D printing of guns. They want to ban 3D printers. That's literally what they're saying here. Crack down on gun trafficking. Ban bulk purchases by limiting gun purchases to 1 per month. Create new federal anti-trafficking laws to ban straw purchasing, which is already a crime. It's a federal crime to straw purchase. Increase regulatory authority of ATF to inspect gun shops and hold them accountable, and authorize the hiring of 650 new ATF staff to conduct inspections and oversight of gun stores. Now, we have already seen Biden's zero tolerance policy when it comes to FFLs, and FFLs are getting shut down, or FFLs are being removed at an alarming rate. I think it's 500%. Now they want to further push that ideal to make it even worse for a licensed dealer to even do business. Enhance federal record keeping of gun sales by requiring licensed gun dealers to transmit sales records to ATF to be stored indefinitely in a centralized electronic database. National Registry System. Violation of the Constitution. Now they want every local sale now has to go to the ATF so the ATF can see what you're buying. No. Repeal the T.A.N. Amendment, a series of harmful appropriation riders that limit law enforcement's ability to trace guns used in crimes and hold gun dealers accountable when they break the law. And that's a lie. The T.A.N. Amendment is basically, it prevents gun dealers from just exposing a person's identity who has purchased a firearm. It does not prevent law enforcement from coming in and getting the information that they need. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. It's like, you know, you don't want your FFL selling your information to some gun group or some anti-gun group. That's what it prevents. The TR Amendment prevents them from doing that. But it doesn't stop law enforcement from investigating a crime or to do a gun trace. It's nonsense. And hold the gun industry accountable for wrongdoing. Strengthen the public's ability to hold gun manufacturers accountable by clarifying that they are not immune from civil liability. So some idiot goes out and uses one of their products in a nefarious manner, and you can go after the gun dealer, which is already happening. Let me ask you this question, because this shows the hypocrisy to these Democrats and shows how they really don't care about safety. Can the people from Waukesha sue the SUV manufacturer? No. Can the parents of the Idaho students who were stabbed to death with a K-bar, can they sue K-bar? No. Well, why not? Because it's stupid. The manufacturer had nothing to do with the actions of the individual. I'm sorry. Well, I'm making sense now. I'm sorry. I'm being logical. I'm sorry. I'm using common sense. They're just doing this once again to sue the gun manufacturers out of business. That's what this is about. And it's easy to do because you got these people so jacked up on emotions and a bunch of scumbag lawyers who want their 40%. It's an easy thing to do. Regulate firearms consumer safety by authorizing the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission to address safety defects in firearms and firearm accessories. Well, as we've seen time and time again, recalls with firearms happens. So I don't see why we need a new act to do what we already do. Allow for the use of gun trace data in civil proceedings, which is going back to suing gun manufacturers. Raise the excise tax rate on gun sales to 30% and ammunition sales to 50%, and use the proceeds to invest in community-based gun violence prevention program. Once again, it's a bribe. It's a financial bribe for states to do the bidding of the federal government. And once again, it's at its face, it's unconstitutional. You can't charge an extra tax on a product. It's nonsense. Illinois went through this, and I did this, this was well over a year ago, and the court struck it down saying, no, you can't do this. But what they did say was, because you're not using the money, any viable outcome of preventing this gun violence, you can't really do that. That's why they say to invest in community-based gun violence and intervention programs. That's their catch-all when this thing goes to court, if they were ever to pass it, when it goes to court. But it goes on to, they talk about other crap, but let's come out of that. At its face is stupidity, because it's not going to prevent what they claim it will prevent. None of this is going to prevent violence or criminal activity. It's not going to make communities safer. Don't think they're stupid. They're not stupid. Well, they're really not stupid. I know we've seen them do things where you kind of go, these people are idiots. But they know this is never going to get passed. This is non-starter. So why are they doing it? I mean, they just lost a vote to have a unanimous vote on a vote for assault weapons. So why do this? A day later. I got two theories, and these are my theories. One, this is to bring this into the 2024 election cycle. It's going to fail. And they're going to basically go around gaslighting, saying that Republicans don't care about the safety of your children. They're going to include kids, because that's what most authoritarians do, Hitler, Mao, so forth and so on. They make it sound like it's about the children. And this is the same party that says abortion up to birth is okay, but they care about children. And then my other theory is that one of these assault weapon ban cases is going to hit the Supreme Court probably next year, or is going to be presented to them to be entertained. I think they're doing all this crap to kind of head it off, because they know if an assault weapon ban case gets to the Supreme Court, let's say 2024, they know that with Bruin in place, it's going to be overturned. And I think they're just trying to get one step ahead of it by doing this nonsense. And I will say this, for a party that claims the Republicans are wasting all this time investigating Joe Biden and his obviously corrupt business dealings with his son, they seem to have a lot of time to do dumb stuff that won't even pass. But Let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.